Yep. With that free thinking folks, play real songs.
Love it.
Oh, never leave me, please never go away. And we will be lovers until our dying day. Hold me, my darling, embrace me with your arms. Thrill me, oh baby, with the magic of
All right, rewind and coming. We'll touch that again through the course of the program for our senior folks. Now let me touch this one for a well-energized singer, and most people know him on the block as Two Shoes. No, he just don't have two shoes. You could call him up, and he'll tell you the reason why he is Mr. Two Shoes. So here's a brand new tune. Two Shoes, world class singer, step up.
from within and so does love. I don't want her to be no part-time lover anymore.
They don't want a part-time lover anymore.
Part-time lover anymore. I want you to be my lover, be my full-time lover. I don't want her to be no part-time lover anymore. Part-time lover anymore. Look at the way she look at me. Look at the way she wink her eyes. Look at the way she hold me tight. Look at the way she at me. I don't want her to be no part-time lover anymore. I don't want her to be no part-time lover anymore. I want her to be my lover. Be my
This one is world premiere. Up there on iTunes and all the other tunes. All the alternets, check it out. Two Shoes.
lover in the morning, morning loving, lover in the evening, evening loving, lover in the nighttime, nighttime.
Who's that guy over there? That's your hand up there? I thought it was a carbon copy of me. See, you know, for a while I thought it was me. I was like, oh,
I think that
I
guy's
got a
famous.
ghost.
That guy's famous, I think.
What?
He's famous.
Who?
The guy on the right over there.
Which guy?
On the video.
The guy with a hat, a red back?
No, not the guy with the hat. The other guy.
Oh, that guy.
You guys.
Oh, okay.
To be no part-time lover anymore, part-time lover anymore. Look at the way she look at me. Look at the way she hold me tight. Look at the way she wink her eyes. Look at the way she at me. I don't want her to be no part-time lover anymore.
That's right. A lot more Two Shoes after this. We're station break. We're right back. And when we come back, our presidential candidate running for President of the United States right after this. In the meantime, for our youth, I don't want you to do bad things and wind up a Rikers Island, right?
The senior citizens, the first time the youth come on New York.
This is AM 930
Heard it, huh?
WPAT.
That's the same guy.
Harrison.
First time he comes to New York, he tells him how to tell him get a skill, learn a trade. But now he's going to Rikers Island. He wouldn't listen.
Wow.
You never heard that record before? What the hell are you listening to, man? This is real.
But he went to
This is
Rikers
world
Island to
music.
make an album.
Yeah, you can go to Jamaica and make album. You can make it a hit, but you want to get a certain sound. You know, you're going to. Who says the guy answer? Two Shoes. Oh, yeah, John. Book. Huh? It's all clean. It's all clean. Brand new brand. No, I run about 2 or 3 times after. Where is it? Don't mind him. Let me stop on my desk first. These are 2 shoes headquarters. Let me go ahead. Yeah, of course. But they like it or not. All right, look at later. All right, good. Hey, collect some more mechanic shop for me. No, but tell the mechanic to deliver. Tell me I collect commercial. Talk to you later. But they want the company big up. All right. That was 2 shoes.
The artist?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh wow.
That's 2 shoes.
If he loses a shoe, he's gonna have a problem.
Well, he got 2 different color shoes.
That's really a problem. How does this look with this like this? Because I have this sideways. Is that right?
I know you should know.
It looks
Hey,
like
you ever
I
seen?
need to hear
You
what
ever seen this before?
Yeah, culture club. You could be.
You seen this before?
I feel like you're making fun of me now.
Yeah. Hold on.
Well, you didn't know anything else.
Zone. Now we're gonna go across the board for our candidates running for president of the United States, and people want to know. We're gonna touch this song. It doesn't apply to, shouldn't apply to politicians, but it may apply to some of them. People want to know that after they vote for them, if they will hurt them in terms of money in the pocket. Will they do what they said they're going to do? So let me touch Culture Club, the Inside Culture Zone, where we don't segregate the music. If it's good, we play it. All right? Some people want to segregate everything from their dog, their cat, from people to places. Some people don't like you because you're pink or you're black or you're blue. We don't segregate it. If you're real, then you will appeal to me. But if you're fake, don't get off the bus. Stay on the bus and keep going. All right. Let me touch this one from Culture Club. So that's what people want to know. If they're gonna want to hurt you after you give them your vote, right? Let them sweat for your vote. And we have a candidate in the studio running for president of the United States. He's willing to sweat for your vote, but you must come real, not fake. Step up, Culture Club. Tune up your speakers while you're at it. Song said, do you really want to hurt me? That's what they want to know before they give you that vote. Just don't give it to them, let them earn it. Drum roll. You know that song? Heard that one before? I mean, what? Don't let me come over there and grab you.
Yeah, I'm trying to beat to it, but I'm not really Jamaican,
Yeah,
but
Reagan, got Reagan.
yeah, right.
Yeah, these guys did a lot of stuff in London.
Oh yeah.
Take a picture, man. Let them see what we're playing with.
I took a picture of every album you got right here.
Yeah, take a picture, all of them. Everyone. You have a Rolodex of pictures. Hear that beat? Hear that bass line? Of course, gonna tell you no. But it'll take the $10 billion and put in their side pocket. Don't trust them. Watch them every chance you get. Yep. You got a bass line. Hear that? You got bass? You play bass?
I don't do instruments.
Huh?
But I'm not good with instruments.
Oh, yeah,
The
be
only
good, yeah.
instrument is guitar.
After you come to class, you'll be very good. Trust me. They told me you'll never do radio. That's something, my first tape, my cassette, I was playing it. I was going to class while I was on that train, back and forth. I played it, they laugh at me. Now, when they turned the radio on one day, oh, you're really on the radio, include my own wife. I said, what the hell you think I was doing?
Right.
Playing my, you saw me go out, I go to school. What do you think it was for? To defend myself? But I said, come off my phone. That time I'm in the radio station because I was filling for somebody. Oh, you on the radio? I said, excuse me. Yes, that's me. That's not my cousin. My own wife. So if you want to do stuff, just do it.
Right.
Your own friend will like, so you just start doing it.
You gonna do it? Lock it in.
Oh yeah, they get crazy. Yep. You believe in something, just do it. Don't wait on somebody to prove it. Sometimes even your own family.
Sometimes your family don't even believe.
No.
I got many licenses. My aunt says, "Oh, you can't do that."
You get out and do it. What's up?
Sometimes family. This is what family does.
Come on, do it till you're satisfied. Do it till you're satisfied. It'll be. Bam. Here come. Got beer. See that? Let it soak in. Bam, 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 bam. Now don't try to be like. I'll do it on. It's on epic. You come back 1 week with a scratch. Now here's another one, look. Look.
Yeah,
Let's do what's on this. This one. Here you go, it's coming here. Inside Culture Zone, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So tell your friends we're here live and direct with songs you've probably never heard before. Or for some people, they just they block their mind from this different music. This is an international show, Culture Zone. Around the world, it's culturezoneonline.com, culturezoneonline.com. That's culturezoneonline.com. Around the world, we're in Brixton, we're in West Africa, we're in London, we're in Russia, China, wherever your radio is. People have the chips now, they're listening all over the world. So if you've just gone in Queens and you say, oh, I never heard it before. I've never heard it before. All right. So while you're saying that, a lot of people are listening somewhere around the world. Culture Zone show. And for those who are wondering, yes, I've been here. Different stations, over 4 different stations in the last 39 and a half years. Because add another one. I just want to say 40. 40 sometimes sound big. They don't want to hear 40. But go ahead, say 40. That's what it is. Over 40 years. And you could do the math. You could subtract from that. There's 40. All right? And that makes me 25 for you smart math students. All right. Stand by for the candidate.
Charles Richard Zarelli running for the president of our beautiful United States with so much wrong and items that are wrong. And a lot of us are just so frustrated in many aspects. The word design is relative to our government, is every aspect they do, is everything that's going wrong. And to make it right, it is so key. Design doesn't just remedy housing or education, homeless, racism, or our climate, but a lot more than that. Design is so key. A few things I will forefront is to remove voter suppression that right now is legal in 27 states, hurting our real democracy. We don't want to redefine that word to think or mention the word democracy, yet we don't include all these people who go to vote. We can't allow that. Do you care? I do. Let's care together, running with open design. That's right, the Declaration of Independence Party is including open design for our beautiful people, and I need your support. Get me on that ballot, I will not let you down. Any donations is excellent, even more so. People who don't have money, that's fine. Your name and information helps me get on that ballot. That's even more important. I want to see my niece have a safe tomorrow, and that includes all of us. My name is Charles Richard Zarelli, running for the President of our beautiful United States. My website, timetojoin.us. That's timetojoin.us, timetojoin.us, timetojoin.us. And then for those who don't want to use a computer, I want to include you, senior citizens who've been turned off to electronics. What do? Forget our seniors? No, that's not by good design. So I'm going to give you a phone number for those who are interested and who want to communicate by phone. 718-865-8720. Once again, 718-865-8720. I'll give it to you again. 718-865-8720. We're looking to make a safe, solid future. And what I want to see is 50, 100 years safe. As evidence always to everyone be clear. My name is Charles Richard Zarelli, running for our beautiful United States of America.
And yes, the candidate is in the studio, and the studio number is 212-219-9695. Line to call is up 212-219-9695. For those that joined us last week, I know you heard the candidate. And yes, there are a lot of people who are stuck to two parties. They don't want to hear nothing else. They've been stuck. But the question is, if your party is not helping you locally, then why join the party? And New York is 99.9% Democratic town. And yes, they have been failing the people big time. For you folks that's locked in, can't do nothing without your party. They are failing the business. A lot of small business complaining. And you know what the excuse is? They blame it on Corona. They're blaming everything on Corona. But look in your mailbox, the taxes still are coming. The taxes are still coming. They haven't skipped a beat as far as the taxes. So if you're big and bold like I am, tell those clowns at City Hall and Governor's Mansion that you want them to skip 5 months of taxes, deduct 5 months of taxes, and we'll call that Corona relief. Other than that, tell them don't even talk to you. We want as workers, from Mayor de Blasio, listen up. For those 6 months, we want 6 months deducted from our taxes, homeowners' taxes. And we don't want your lip. We don't want your double talk. We need a 6 months break on homeowners' taxes. That's what we're asking for. And for you small business that's been told to close because of Corona, even when Corona is down to zero, I recommend that you all sue them. Sue all of those clowns. And I'm not backing them. Just sue them for being ignorant. The record shows Corona is down to 0.1 in New York. 60% of the business still closed. No thanks to those clowns.
And then where is it going next? Where is it going next? These people have ultra money are going to be buying up what they want, and then they're going to monopolize more of what we already lost.
If anybody asked you what I was on the table, 6 months. Some tax, 6 months taxes.
Yeah. Take care of period. I mean,
I don't hear nobody asking that.
Right.
They don't know what to ask.
Right.
Ready?
Yeah. You went on the website, right? I'm going to do that. Where's the new information? Phone number.
Ready, doctor? Are you ready? Ready over there? Ready?
Yeah. Phone number. Several phone numbers you can call to listen in. New information. Big day. The 646 number.
Don't try to stop us, no.
Don't log in, just go to the website.
That's right, we're going to go live in the studio. For the candidates, the candidate making a difference. Inside Culture Zone, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, around the world, Culture Zone, online.com. Tell your friends we're here live every Saturday, 2 to 6, and then 9 to 10. We run a marathon for our listeners. Stand by for more Inside Culture Zone. The number here to line up is 212-219-9695, 212-219-9695. That's 212-219-9695. You want to discuss the issues. You want to put pressure on those other two parties to get those issues you want before election day. Not after election day, before election day. Let them sweat for your vote. Let them know what's important to you, and to let them know that you can switch at the last minute. A second before you submit that thing into the voting machine. You can switch. Imagine 10 million votes switching on either parties. That hurts, man. You gotta hurt them, you know. Let them go in there and sweat all the way to the last minute. And when will they find out? Maybe 2 days later they lost. Okay. So, you know, any party, you want to join a party, fine. Party, as far as I'm concerned, parties don't pay the bills, right?
Nurse looking for a safe working environment, competitive pay, and a great work-life balance. Greater New York Nursing is now hiring LPNs across the 5 miles of New York City and surrounding counties. We provide our LPNs with exceptional support, a family atmosphere, and unlimited
George, when I
overtime.
step in
For more
and
information
everything
or
laid
to
out,
apply,
you'll be able
call
to see clearly
212
where we
Nursing.
got our leeway,
That's
how we're going to take care of people, and the
212-687-7464.
into what depth,
Go to
into what depth we should be taken care
gmiservices.com.
of.
Thank you, sir.
That's
And where we can't, you will know.
Yeah.
It should be open.
Inside Culture Zone, now it's time for the candidate to lay everything on the line, pre-Labor Day, let him know what, of course, what Labor Day means to him as a candidate, and what we should know about how Labor Day got started, and how people pushed to make sure they had unions, and unions were sticking up for workers, and that unions could bargain for, you know, bargain for workers, and all that stuff. That's what came, that's how Labor Day came about, not just to go and have a drink and go get barbecue. All right, so candidate, let everybody know who he is, where he got started, and some of what the reason why he decided to run. And since he's a public servant for a while now, and continue to want to serve in another capacity, running for the President of the United States of America. Now the candidate.
Hey everyone. First, I hope you're having a very, very wonderful, happy Labor Day. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Charles Richard Zarilli, looking to make a difference, and I'd like to make a correction here. People apply the word political, and to me, I want to say that's almost like saying a curse word. I'm a human being, and I do detailed orientation of what makes things simpler, easier, being considerate to senior citizens, housing, I want to eradicate racism. This is, to me, is an insult to my intelligence as a human being. So if you want to call me political, it'll only be because you want to stereotype a name to label me, to put me into a category. But that's why we're falling apart. We're looking to put categories, and then we really don't explain what it is. So I would like to explain things. So my first most important thing to any candidate, and that what you would want to hear, is reframing our Constitution. Not that people get together on Christmas and New Year's, when you're sleeping, when you're out, when you're enjoying a blessed day, and they alter the Constitution, and you really don't even know what those changes mean. That's not who I am. I'm a handshake person. I've only broken one promise in my life, my hand to God, when I say that. So when I say things, you can put your life on it. My grandfather, my father, we were people of our word. So I know there's disappointments. I think those things should be told to us. Life ain't perfect. So, also as a shock, I'm not doing this as where it sounds like it's a shock as a pro-political. I'm not. I want to bring back some human feel, with less lies, and we have a reliability somehow. Why? Because I am you. So are these people really running, separating themselves and having a common life? I am. I'm not an ultra rich person, although I've been a real estate entrepreneur for 20 something years. I have tenants for 17, 20 years. I've had every race and culture. I've dated many different races and cultures. I don't look at people as a race and color. Who are you in your heart? And in my mind, what I see, I don't really ask this question when I look at people. What's your design? So I ask everyone out there today, what's your design? Where do you come from? What do you believe in? What do you like? What do you want? So I think bringing some human back, I think, is going to crush what the word political is. And why do I say that? What justification do I have? Ready for this? Especially on a Labor Day, that I've labored my whole life in public service, 40 years, walking in tens of thousands of customers' house in a tri-state area. Anywhere else I was, I would help people, wherever it could be done. I wipe my feet walking in, and you know what? I'm such a habit. I wipe my feet leaving. I catch myself doing that because it's just a way to say respect. And so, my reasoning is, I feel to say that the word, pro-political needs to be put aside, is because what the Declaration of Independence speaks of, Dr. Martin Luther Jr. He's one of the very first people I say he advocated it. Why? Because it stands for 5 prescriptive ingredients. That's the most American thing we can do. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and safety and happiness. And to me, I wrote a book about this with our declaration in every 3 and 5 words, give or take. And I made it for free for those who can't afford it. But the Declaration is a guide. You'll never hear anyone else say this. It's a guide from birth to death, whether you're a person, business, or government, and it has a fair equality. And the first sentence says, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of our earth. When I first read that, I didn't know really how deep it went until I started to enjoy the kinesthetics, if I could use that word in the slang, so to speak. That's like the meaning of value of words. And when you start to really see the value of words, then you can see other people who are politicians, how they use them in slang, and they want to give you some lines to keep it political. I want it to be human. Anything that's wrong, ready for this? I want you to blame me. Not because you're going to blame me out on the street or blame me just in simple conversation. I want it to be where you put me there, because when I am a professional repair person for 40 years with a 97% rate, where other people and other professional companies couldn't fix what it was, they sent me and they called me A to Z and the doctor. I love people. I love serving us. I love when you give someone a service and it goes to their life. And aside from that, I think it's the most American thing to do by obligation to stop the political bans. It's also an obligation, I believe, and the most American thing is the last sentence of our declaration. And it also says, and for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. What does that mean? Well, a firm reliance is one of the most outright, heavy stated things in the Declaration. A firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. You know what that means? It acknowledges when our spirit rises. So it's not saying it in a religious way, it's saying it in a scientific way. Divine providence is when we expire as a human being and we go to the next. And I believe when I say the word God, it means everything that's existent, every prophet, the bit of light, our senses, every planet, the sun, the moon, the earth. Everything to me is when I say the word God, it's everything relative to energy. So I believe when you speak of that, energy never lies. So when you speak of energy, that's where the word design comes in. Why? Because America is number one in the whole entire planet. So what do? Come out and release all the natural things and destroy 25 million medical jobs? No, we couldn't do that. However, I've gotten two people in my life who are diabetic to stop insulin, and they became a non-diabetic. Do we hear that in general conversation? No. The guys that I listen to are documenting this in medical journals, but you don't hear them on the radio or TV. No. So I'm looking to attract back those who are turned off, who are not happy of our system. We need a full flavored remedy. And what is that? To redefine and reframe our Constitution. That's the right way to remedy 65 to 95% of all the problems we have. We could talk about this singly and that about singly and this about singly. When you have a problem with your car, and you haven't tuned it up in, a year or so, and then, a couple of years pass and then it gets worse and worse. Well, guess what? You stop and you change 3 or 4 or 5 things, and now it runs like it's almost new again. But until you did all those things together is what it took to get better gas mileage, to fix it. So with one stop, it's like you're redesigning what got, a little bit tarnished, a little bit worn out. And our system is worn out. There's no question here. We don't want piecemeal. So, and I might not look like Brad Pitt, and I might not have his abs, but my heart and my mind are. And I am confident, and to restore real honor and respect back for us. I need my niece to be assured to have a safe retirement without even a question. And that includes all of us. And anyone who's a candidate would tell you, oh, well, we're going to fix this and we're going to fix that. Hogwash. You know why? Because it has to involve you. If we don't show people a solidarity, a respect for humankind and decency, and if we don't have programs and use our news and media, these people are so important as they guide us in our lives. We get so entrenched with what we see in news and media, and this is what we follow. And what do we hear? Black guy did this, Puerto Rican guy did that, over and over and over and over and over and over. When do we hear and infiltrate and soak us with the good stories and the respect? We don't see this by design. We don't even see that's even possible. But what does that mean? The news people are compromised? Well, they're going by Arbitron ratings. There's certain laws and things that have been implemented that control. Even the White House came out and said that they consult newspapers to make sure that the stories are guided. Well, when do we make laws to make sure that humanity and respect come and guide us as human beings more correctly, looking out for our divine providence? It's funny, the one common thing in 40 years plus of public customer service, and I'm excellent in serving and designing. I want to say not just one without the other, but the one common thing I hear that hurts my heart is when senior citizens are up against inflationary rates and they're getting less and less and less. It's the one most common thing in 40 years I've ever heard. And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of it being where we're hurt. And then what? I can look forward to it that when I become a senior citizen, that we won't have to be satisfied in this place we call the most strongest place in the whole entire globe. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. So reframing our Constitution will remedy so much, because having that as an open design, I want to say, is explainable. We could see it. I'd like to list these things. I'd like to use on news and media to, as we have what's called IR and RAS, those are two psychological terms of our mental framing. And when I went for a certification in hypnotherapy, I started to learn, as well as I fixed hundreds of thousands of things, not tens of thousands, the things I've fixed, and I've invented several things, not that I patented anything, but I'm very creative that way. When I see the crafting of what we represent as human beings, we don't see that we're being sensitive to that. We don't see that we're making programs to keep us, number one, openly, to say, look, you're America, you love America, beautiful. Where do we go from there? Do we not say we should care about being number one? Well, I love being number one. What about you? America, I can. So I'd like to also just take a break here and invite you to my website, which is Time to Join. That's TimeToJoin.us. I'll give it to you again. TimeToJoin.us. All one word. Don't get confused because there are other things out there. And if you go on there right now, you can tap on the link to go and see us live. We brought some video equipment into the studio. You can see George. You can see myself. Or those who want to go on a Zoom station. You want to go to the Zoom channel and you put in the number 839-5612-6271. I'll give it to you again, 839-5612-6271. Then without a password, you can see us on the Zoom room. So I welcome you to do that. And also the phone number for those who might be listening and the radio goes out. You can go onto the Zoom channel, listen to us, 646-558-8656. That's 646-558-8656. So my name is Charles Richard Zarelli, running for the beautiful president of our United States, more of a human style, removing some of the pro-political. And you know, I said something last week, which someone had said to me, well, you know, you're dividing and we need to get this guy out of the White House. I agree. But how I look at it is, when do you admit the house is on fire and leave? I am the first person, I believe, in the face of this globe. I made a video in 2016, Charles Zarelli for president. So I have been reaching out to national news stations. Not one of them has gotten back to me. Is that fair to someone like you? Let's say you felt you had 14 licenses and 5 EPA certifications with a hypnotherapy certification, very qualified in science. A couple of my licenses have the word master. You know, I don't have a big head. I'm down to earth, man. I'm one of us. I love us. But when I see the design and respect and what we don't have, what is the word design? I was told I should explain that. So let me give you an example. So every one of you mostly are in a home or an apartment. If you're in an apartment, the home and apartment, whatever it was designed on a blueprint. What does that mean? Every electrical wiring, every outlet, every switch, the amount of wattage that a light fixture could handle, how much plumbing you could use. And then all of these things are orchestrated with the frame, how big are the windows. Every detail, which when you walk in your front door, was used and designed. When we look at a bridge, it's designed, how much weight, how many cars, what happens if cars stop on it on one side, will it tip sideways? That's all designed. Do we see any of that for our government? No, we don't. That's why I figured I want to come forward. I want to break that mold. I want to create a new plateau for those who say they're political. Let's hear them directly talk about science. Because when I hear the Army Corps of Engineers and having New Orleans having a problem, and they had some structural problems with their dam, why? And how come that someone of a president or who would take the responsibility would look over some of the designs of the blueprints? Because to me, I've done structural work. I've been in construction, you know, a couple of my life. I'm a licensed contractor as we speak. So professionally, I say these things of open design to apply to a governmental system, which all of you would start to feel safe, have the option of feeling comfortable with what you see around. And then you'll understand also, look, if you want to be risque, then you're taking a chance in these areas, because by design, we can see that. I'll give you another example of good design. What about senior citizens? Are we looking after them? How many of these people are being put into homes and we don't have an ability to take care of them? Here's another good application of design. Was our hospitals prepared by design for the pandemic? No, it wasn't. I'll be honest with you. And when other people say it, because we're recorded right now, I'd love to say this right now because it's being recorded. I want to document this because I already documented it prior to now. I'd like to put rooms in the basements of hospitals and vacuum seal the room. No one can go in, put gauges and alarms with all extra medical equipment. So we're prepared. Why shouldn't it be that we're the most strongest nation on the globe? We wouldn't be prepared for our people. That's number one. Number two, there's approximately, I might be off slightly in these numbers, but they're darn close. 7 to 9 people are worth approximately $2.1 to $2.4 trillion a day, daily, of income of net worth. So when the whole entire thing is figured and we look at this, that's 52 to 58% of the world's net worth. When we see these numbers and we see money missing in our governmental systems, is that okay design with you? Well, guess what? If there was open design, you would say, wait a minute, that's not acceptable. And by design, you'd be able to voice yourselves more constructively. Right now with voter suppression, that's, it's legal. It is okay to have voter suppression in 27 states. We need to abolish that.
And the number in the studio is 212-219-9695. Your time to call in from any borough. 212-219-9695. Any state. 212-219-9695. And you get to ask the questions. 212-219-9695 Inside Culture Zone all the way live 2 to 6. And then 9 to 10. So Brooklyn, Bronx, I know you're the brave ones. Hollis, Queens, South Bronx, South Brooklyn, Queens, Hempstead, Amityville, Copiague, Babylon, New Jersey, Newark, Patterson, Hackensack, East Orange, 212-219-9695. Let those in power know that you have real questions. You're not just a sleeping giant. But sometimes sleeping giants wake up after the election. It's no good. 212-219-9695. Don't be asleep at the wheel when you're driving, voting. Don't be a political punk. Don't let them punk you out. 212-219-9695. And yes, it's possible to switch on any candidate at any time. 3 seconds before the close of the vote, you could switch on them. Watch them sweat. 212-219-9695. Call in here live. 212-219-9695. Only time a politicians worry or start sweating when they know that their competition. They don't care nothing about you as long as you're going to rubber stamp everything they say. They got no respect for you whatsoever. As soon as they know you can vote independent or do something different than they used to, they start getting shaky. Right now you have the mayor and the governor not running for anything. As far as they're concerned, they can stay and collect money for the next 2 years and put in their private account. They don't care nothing about you. Right now they're on the ego trip. I haven't heard the governor say that the president of the United States can't come to town if that's not a big ego. Here's the commander-in-chief that could fly in a military jet with maybe 400 or 500 army personnel and walk around the city. The governor says the president of the United States can't come to town. Now, why does he use his ego to open some of these restaurants that's been trying to survive? Now, he can't do simple stuff, but he could talk about stupid stuff. Just imagine that. Your governor told the president of the United States that you can't come to town unless you bring an army to walk around. You can do that. Don't be stupid. That's why they call it commander-in-chief. Now, governor, if you want to play tough, why don't you run for president and act like you want to do something? And I'm not taking sides. Just common sense. And when you say something stupid, then that's real stupid. I'm sure they're going to discuss that on Sunday News. He said it, that the president of the United States cannot come to town, that he'll need an army. He's a real dummy, right? That's what an ego trip does to a politician. Don't say stuff. Want to negotiate for some money?
To me, they do it because it shows opposition. What do you think?
Don't say, even if you're thinking,
Right.
no, say something else.
Causes the exact conversation to this. Like it makes it happen.
Hey, he better not come to our city.
Man, stop talking crap. That's another
right.
one.
You talking crap.
You're the political junkie. That's why
right. You are. He should come to our city.
radio, hello.
There'll be a bubble gumming on what you call a color line.
Yes, sir.
Talking about somebody.
You want to talk to the candidate? You want to talk to the ear, right? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, no, listen, even if you're thinking, you could be on crack, you still wouldn't say that. Come on, man.
You are on crack because everything this here guy says about our city.
Did you hear what I said? I said if a guy even thinking, you don't say something that's stupid. Find something else to do. There's a lot of work to do.
No,
he got 50% of the restaurants are closed because of jackass.
No, he's a jackass for even saying that there. He's a jackass for saying that.
Hold on. Inside cultures on New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Let's go to the people that make things happen around here. Without the people, without the advertisers, we would cease to exist. Caller, you're on the air. Welcome in. Respect.
Hello.
Yes,
how
sir.
are you today?
Two is that, you know, like you keep talking about those people in Albany as well as New York City here. We have the governor, the highest paid governor in the land. I don't know what he's doing. And we have the mayor there giving, overtime to like $300,000, $400,000 to city employees, you know. Then they go up for a handout for the federal government to bail them out in that way. But, we have a lot of issues, a lot of problems. And people come from the Caribbean and other parts of the world. They bring all their nasty habits over here and vote for somebody who they feel looking like them or think like them. And then we end up with this crap that we have here in New York. But congratulations to Mr. Charles Richard Durelli.
Thank you, sir.
For running for president.
Thank you very much. Yes, I know it. I know I do. Yes, the Declaration of Independence Party, right. And the reason why, by design, I wanted to make a party that Republicans and the Democrats have no choice but to need to join. We have two critical things happening. We have an ice melting, we have a pandemic. And I want them to show their colors because what do? Always argue? I want to say part of the Declaration says, I'm going to quote this, and it says, a decent respect to the opinions with an S of mankind requires that they, which is the government, declare the causes which impel them, the people, to the separation. It's American to tell us the truth. And are they now being American? Now I'm blaming them for not being American. Why? Because the most top document, Declaration of Independence, quotes and supports me what I just said. Tell me I'm wrong, you're going to have to change the Declaration too late. I love us. We need to fix it the right way. We need to feel some human.
Yes, so you're looking at the co-founding documents of this country, and I heard you said that you're using the word life,
liberty,
honor,
happiness.
And
yes.
What's the
life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and safety and happiness. Not trying. I'm not stopping until it happens. And you should all want to do the same thing. Why? Because we don't see that the Constitution directly reflects the Declaration. That's why Martin Luther King said, the quotes from the Declaration. Why? Because he's a very intelligent man. He saw there would be no racism if we did this. And it would be un-American if we did this. To think you could be a racist. That wouldn't be American. So then, one thing that people really that we're not seeing is the media has its own discretionary view. Why? Because Arbitron ratings is how they get money. So they don't really tell us the balance. They don't tell us what it is more to bring people together. In how the rich people see it's going to hurt business. I disagree. I believe we're a bunch of caring people in America, and we want a good solid foundation, and we would support America to be number one if we had the truth. We don't see it. I didn't want to say that, but I'm glad you brought it up, sir. Thank you. And yes, I am. And what is, well, you tell me, you know what it is? Because I have an insight of it. Do you know what it is? And media. Yeah. Yeah. You're 100%. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let me just say this. I'm not going to refer to anything that doesn't support the Declaration of Independence because to me it seems it doesn't have a balance. So there are things that are okay, there are things that aren't, but when we don't see the Declaration's guide implemented into the Constitution, much of it must be changed. That's how I see it. Let me put it in a simple way. Thank you. Let me put it in a simple way. Yes, I agree, but guess what? By me saying this and all of you having to talk about this, a new conversation of truth, when we see 7.9 billion people, and I add the extra 100 million on the ad there, why? Because I do design. I always like to overcalculate because it's a more reasonable way to have the right answers. So we have 7.9 billion people in the face of the earth. America owns more than half of the global business. It's our responsibility and liability to remedy what's happening. And honestly, when the pandemic came out, I personally was not worried. Why? Because I've learned of epigenetics. And I found out so many things we need to be taken care of, man. Anyway, Operation Mockingbird is relative to the CIA, has a control over media, so the things you hear are limited. That needs to be changed so it frees up the people who are caught in the middle too. It'll free them up a little bit. A lot of people are stuck in the middle who do national security. Let's face it, they have no choice but you got to listen to your boss, otherwise you're fired. So what about them? So, you know, they're stuck. My brother was one of the first responders at 9/11. They were told they could breathe the air, and more people died after 9/11 than before. These are not acceptable. With the Declaration of Independence, they're not being American, is what I see. And so on a Labor Day that I am a laborer, I love working for us. I love, you want to make me suffer in ways, you're going to make me go and jump into this political arena? My pleasure. And I have a surprise. Get me the national, and I have a surprise. Everyone is going to be like, oh my God, you thought that some of these people thought DJT was going to fight for us? You're going to be like, this guy ain't kidding. I have a lot of things I love to do. Mm-hmm.
And we, the American taxpayer, has to pay over 70% of that global slush fund and move our corporations and our city, our corporation, our production and manufacturing plants to those other countries out there, while, you know, America is at a loss in the long run in that respect.
What I see is, I see we as a country and having the most global business have that responsibility. Honestly, if I was your commander-in-chief, I would have had funds put aside for a crisis like this. When 9/11 happened, who knew what was going to happen next? Guess what? That's design. When you have a problem with something in a design, there's already a answer for that. It's already set aside. It's known. You can have so many problems. And the only issue with that is you'd only have so much of a remedy to a certain point. But none of those remedies I see. So I'm not looking to hurt our national security. I'm not looking to hurt America being number one. However, but to use our brains to not let these people not have oversight. When they're privatizing things, it's like there's less governmental restrictions on them. When we see laws of people, glyphosate and all these things, by law, these things, but they're highly toxic. Where do we see the laws from legislation that is being restrictive, that we don't hurt our earth? That we do comply to the respect, turn to the powers of the earth. Not that we hurt the earth, but we help it. So I don't see there's enough oversight is what it is. And I think those people who need and have that much money, let's include how they need to make more business, include them so they don't fight us, because we could be in lawsuits forever. But to me, the answer is your answer. We need oversight. We need guidance. And people do spreadsheets today. So how come we don't have a spreadsheet for our government? Right. I agree. But however,
most of
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Well, you know, there's always pros and cons. There's always pros and cons across the board. You could tell. I believe there are certain things that protect America from other nations if they rise for terrorism to a certain degree. And I'm not behind the scenes to see exactly how it would be protective, but I do believe part of it is protective while it's also overbearing. I see both sides. If I was there, I would be able to understand if it's really serving a purpose and what it is relative to, because the Federal Reserve is not part of our government. To me, I'm offended by that, and I think it's an insult. But I think at the same time, if I could see every number, every penny, every dollar, statistical information from behind the scenes, and someone didn't want to give it to me, I'll go crush them, break down their door, because you're giving it to me now. You're not going to deny the president. What I see is this. If a president could break all these things and what this gentleman is doing, breaking our Constitution, not following things, imagine someone who does design who's going to do it right. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say, and have people who want to oversight me, please watch over me. Follow everything I would need to do. So I believe there's two answers to that. And unless I really got that, because I see the protective way, and someone mentioned to me last week that, oh, we need to get rid of the Electoral College. And he's sitting right next to me, and I had to bring that up. So, well, I agree with that, but I disagree. So I agree because it's allowing the popular vote to be overridden. But I'd like to say this, because I do design, because I see people, I see having the ability to make new business that's never been made before, making jobs and things that will be innovative, and protecting those jobs going forwards. So what happens if now you were satisfied of your government? Let's say it's not now. And now all of a sudden somebody comes in who has a lot of money. And he's now going to come in and he's got trillions of dollars himself or billions of dollars. And he's going to overthrow, and he has money to buy the media, to buy this. Guess what? Would you want the system to then be hurt? So there's a double-edged sword, but it all depends on who the leader is. I see it this way. You know, when we see a government required to impel the separations, that we don't see that happening. It's that person directly at the top who is considered the world leader is going to call those shots, is going to implement this respect. And unless all of you wake up and realize the house is on fire, then you're going to keep on buying a political system that only has two parties, and that's not the truth. There's always been more. Mm-hmm. But do you see him on national television as much equal time? No. Thank you, sir. That's all right. I appreciate your words. Thank you. Here. Yes. 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 Mm-hmm. I agree. It's right. Gosh. Mm-hmm. I agree. Whoever our leader, we need to show ways to join and respect us, not, we say, divisional items that take us apart.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Appreciate your words.
Thank you very much. Stand by for more Inside Culture Zone inside about BAT. AM 930, AM stands for Must Listen to Radio. And we'll continue with more interesting issues from the candidate. 212-219-9695, 212-219-9695. Tell your friends we're here live. Stand by for more.
I like that good answer that you said about him, about the president always changing the rules and everything else. Talk about New York. First of all, that ain't gonna happen because your house and everything have to vote. You have to vote on it. So he's going and saying things, and I'm glad they said it to him because he's out of place by saying that about New York. You know?
If I had it my way,
yeah.
You You know how people get intimidated?
Yeah.
That house would change. So
That's
it's
right.
Congress.
That's right.
Not if there's not. And unless someone with balls like I have stand up and make people satisfied somehow, to see the business and know we earned America number one, protect even the people who are stuck in the national security in the middle, then that person can make that happen. But when someone at the top doesn't do this, it's all division.
No, he's just changing.
And you need division. Don't get me wrong, you keep people busy.
Right.
How do you keep people busy? Imagine if there was no people keeping other people busy.
Yeah.
All these people be going nuts.
Right.
How many women be driving you nuts?
Right. Well, I get rid of them right away. I'm 72, so I get rid of them right away. I get rid of them right away. If I don't agree with them, I let them go. I don't continue going with it.
Well, you look like you're 65 to 68.
Yeah. I got to get rid of
Grease lightning.
No, that's the natural stuff I put in my head.
Not a stick 50 then.
Give him 649 and own one.
My heritage is Cherokee Indian, Irish,
oh, how
and
cool.
everything. Yes.
Wow.
Cherokee, Irish. You know, so I'm not as
I love it.
And my mother is mulatto. You know,
mulatto. Inside Culture Zone, stick around for more. Segment is brought to you in part also by Wash and Fold Super Laundry when you're too busy for your clothes. 718-341-1000, 718-341-1000. Also Rapid MD at 217-14 Merritt Boulevard. Also 4008 Boston Road. You don't need an appointment. 4008 Boston Road, Rapid MD. Tune up your body for the winter, just like how you tune up your cars. Even better than 4008 Boston Road in the Shopwood Plaza, free parking. Also in Queens, 217-14 Merritt Boulevard, free parking. Also mention the Culture Zone Show. They're open right now. Rapid MD. Don't wait for the government to do a drive-in to check yourself. You could check yourself at your own time. No appointment needed when you're checking with the Culture Zone's doctors. Rapid MD 217-14 Merritt Boulevard, free parking. In the Bronx, 4008 Boston Road. If you wait on the government to tell you whether you're checked out, you could be dead. Guaranteed. Real stiff. Right? You gotta know.
But I look at this president, and he's breaking rules, do things that aren't allowed.
That's right. That's what.
Imagine if someone like me got in, and I wanted the right things to be done. I would have the ability to break rules that people don't want to.
Not mine, you ain't. I ain't gonna play with your ball. They don't play with you. No, you ain't gonna break balls. What the hell you talking about? I'm gonna play with you in scratch. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I think
she got balls. She got balls. She got balls.
You know, but imagine someone going in and having a town who does design to say, I don't give a fuck about the law. You're doing this right now. And by the way, where do you live? If this guy is doing it, then it's showing a mold. Things to be changed. I'm not looking to upset the apple cart, but the apple cart has to be cleaned out.
All right, while you're there, I'll share a public service. That's a advertiser have special information for you. So listen up.
Licensed practical nurse looking for a safe working environment, competitive pay, and a great work-life balance? Greater New York Nursing is now hiring LPNs across the 5 boroughs of New York City and surrounding counties. We provide our LPNs with exceptional support, a family atmosphere, and unlimited overtime. For more information or to apply, call 212-NURSING. That's 212-687-7464.
We'll be right back right after this.
There's a saying we have in the Caribbean. We are
what I've learned is what's called Prigozhin's postulation. Did you ever hear that?
We have our masks.
No, but I got one close to it.
Completing the 2020 census will impact how federal funding flows to our neighborhoods.
It's close. I already know now. I understand. But go ahead. Yeah.
And don't worry. Personal information is kept safe and confidential.
It's not too late. Shape your future. Start voting at 2020census.gov.
Percentage of us voted for him? 8%.
Right.
We're the lowest percent out on the vote for Trump.
No matter if it's 8 or one, could be half.
I want to say this. I want to say, honestly,
We didn't vote for
when I found out with me making a police report the damage on my property and other things, and they didn't want to take my report, this is in 2004 Bloomberg administration. So when we see, you know, stations and systems that are being altered with true facts, I don't even believe there's more than 14 to 20% of people who would believe in him across America. Because think about this, he's attracting the formation of rebellion. You can hear everything he's saying. There's not many people. I got news for you. Almost everybody I meet, 90% is a heartful, decent, believes there's something wrong with our climate. I talk to everybody. Hey, how you doing? I don't know you, but mind if I ask you a question? And we talk, you know?
I strictly come from like Riverside and Williamsburg when I worked in the schools before I retired. He's not going to get our vote. That's 8%.
Well, you know, my concern is there's a guy who was on testimony. He said, prosecutor said, how do you know the voting polls could be fake? Because I wrote the program. And he goes, so I know I could make you win 51% to 49. So why do you think things went digital? Why do we have voter suppression in 27 states? This needs to be abolished. Why? Because the formation have let
Listen, the guys that make the machines, they're in bed with the politics.
Right. Right. Well, guess what? We're rising. People care. What do you think? So many protests are happening. And what do you think the president's saying? Oh, get rid of them. They're all against America. You're being un-American. Bullshit. You're what formed America. These people standing up. It's like Rosa Parks.
But why do you need $300 million to run again? Why?
Why should I have to have it? You're right. Why shouldn't it be that public TV
You have to
be
have
implemented for every politician
be on
equally?
TV or radio. That's why you gotta have it.
Right.
That's not a good answer.
It is a good answer. Your opinion don't count as far as I'm concerned. It ain't correct.
There should be a public balance of reform.
Inside culture zone. For most people, they have the feeling of what would happen on Eastern Parkway Labor Day. But they already made a decision for you, letting you know 3 months before that there will be no parade on Eastern Parkway. The rules are now is 0.1 for Corona. But as most people know, that the people that are involved in the Carnival Association, that it actually takes sometime a whole year of planning. So I'm sure people are already planning for next year. But for the people that make a lot of money for the city, I didn't remember seeing any of them at any committee meeting to talk to people, business people that invested so much money in trying to bring Labor Day carnivals to New York. They should be giving back some of that money to some of those small businesses that were putting things together for the city, because after all, they make so much millions of dollars off Labor Day. Time for you to start asking Bloomberg for a refund or some funds to cover certain of the expenses to prepare for that Labor Day 2020. I know you don't like to ask the wise questions, that's why I'm asking you, telling you to tell them what to ask for. You ask for what you want. I'm telling you to go ask the mayor for funds to cover some of those expenses that you made putting together for Labor Day Parade 2020. Now, if you check the radar on Corona, it's down to 0.1. Labor Day is not till Monday parade, supposedly. But you were cut 3 months early, maybe 6 months earlier. They done told everybody what they're not gonna have. So since they had all this time, tell the mayor to go into his budget and give 100% of those people the money that they invested in bringing together the parade route. Because after all, for the last 30 plus years or 40 years, the city of New York have made a bag of money off the Labor Day. But not a word. Here it is, Labor Day coming up. None of those clowns have mentioned anything, a press conference to talk to anybody from the Caribbean about what they should be talking about. Like how to give a refund to those that invested in Labor Day 2020 that now cannot have a parade to generate some money. Because some owners don't know what to ask for. And if I was your mayor, I would know what I would know what the people need. Now the city council president challenged the system to open up restaurants. They waited and they waited, only to find that the governor decided to give them the middle finger. Tell them if they want to open a restaurant, they might as well go on planet Mars. Because he don't give a rat's ass. They could open one in Westchester, Suffolk, Westbury. When it comes to New York City business, the governor is telling you straight, he don't give a shit about you. And I did say it. And everybody goes to the bathroom. You know what I'm talking about. I said it. I don't give a. You didn't say 10 words.
You should have said you don't want to put money out of the medical industry.
Yeah,
and then you have this. So fix your design.
So for my TT and GT folks, and Vincentians and Grenadians, if you're pissed off, let them know exactly what you feel. Because yeah, they'll try to come for me. They've been trying for a long time, but they don't own me. And I ain't voting for them because they ain't doing nothing for me. They don't keep this radio station running. Small business keep me moving. The same one they're cutting the business back from. Small business keep me going, not the big ones. 212-219-9695. Don't wait till after election to let these clowns know what you feel. Because after all, you're the one that's giving them 90%, 100% of your votes. And do absolutely nothing for you. So if you have some pride in yourself and your neighborhood, call me now. 212-219-9695. 212-219-9695. I know you're lined up behind those parties. In about 17 or 14 months, the mayor will have to run for the hills because there's right now about 10 people running for his job. He don't give a rat's ass because he's not running. He's just busy trying to fill his pocket. I told you, and I'm telling you. Sorry, Governor. The governor ain't running for nothing either. He don't care about you either. If he was running for anything, he'll promise you that he'll give you his mother's private jewelry. But they ain't running, so they're just a bunch of greedy horses sticking the money in the reserve. So come back in 5 years and tell them he's running for president. Don't be surprised if he don't surface 3 years from now, talk about he's running for something. Then you could tell him where to go.
The governor is running.
For what, president?
No, he's running for
the House.
The governor.
He's running for his backyard.
No, the governor.
He's running for the backyard. Where's he running for?
You said he's not
Dog
running.
catcher?
Okay, he's running for the governor. Okay.
He can't run. No, he can't run no more.
Yes, he can.
When?
It's
He
not
did
term
it. He
limits.
did one term
No,
already.
It's not term limits on.
Well, good. Well, I hope they don't vote for his ass. Good. So he did 2 already. He's on 2. He's on 2.
Not the term limits.
He's on 2. Yeah, by the way, if the governor decides to run again for office, just tell him that you vote for somebody else, all right? So let him suck it up. Let him hear it early and then start running somebody for his seat. He don't care, and you don't care either. Are you happy now?
And they should understand design.
Are you happy now?
No, I'm not. I just want to tell you the truth.
I ain't kissed up to them. They don't pay my bills. They didn't help me to get here today. And I don't give a shit. They didn't help me to get here today.
Right.
Small business helped me to get here today. Doctor's office, washing phone. They're looking out for me. Mr. Zarelli, tell them I'll kiss my, you know what? I don't care. You want me to tell them? Oh, kiss my, I'm on there. Oh, right. Oh. Come on now. You gotta get some backbone. Get some real balls, not the fake ones. I know your mother gave you a pair when you were growing up.
No, I tell you.
So get 2 more.
Dang, I said
Mother gave you a pair. Get 2 more.
When I feel you're not right, I'll say it. You know I.
But you sound like you're playing chicken.
No, you don't want to
play chicken with these guys.
You're playing bully this.
Bully?
Yeah.
You You know who's bullying? The one that got a couple $1 million to throw around? We don't have them kind of, we don't got that kind of dice to throw around. We're just trying to get out of the mud hole. Me and Mr. Rella, we're just trying to dig out of the mud hole. If you're 0 to 100,000, you're still trying to dig out. And I'm sure you don't have his first $10 million yet. He's digging out of the mud hole. I didn't see my first $2 million yet. What? You see your first $1 million yet? Show me. Show me. Because I need, right now, I need about 50 grand. I need 50 grand so I can take 2 months off vacation and leave somebody here to run the business. Give me 50.
I mean, and look at this guy, James West Davison. You hear him? He's a black guy who was a slave.
Okay.
And he was fed up with what he was going through.
They shot somebody?
And he stole his owner's boat, huge boat.
Where'd he go?
And because he was a slave, he knew the passcodes to go across all the waterways. He knew all the people. He knew how to honk the horn.
Where did he wind up?
He left, and then because he stole this, he made it through all the channels that he had to of all the people he'd deliver arms to.
Okay.
And came into America.
Well, where was coming from?
Put the white flag like he's giving up.
Yeah.
And because he did this, he was able to become a congressperson.
Where is he coming from?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what land he came from. It wasn't America. It was obviously.
What's the guy's name?
Who knows? Maybe it could have been part of Britain. Britain had slaves, and he had to cross the waters to come to America. I mean, well, he's crossed. You know what? I don't even know what he crossed. But when you hear this, and the things he wrote, it was very profound, and he mentioned the Declaration to agree. But this guy's a hero, and what? And he had to steal a boat to become a hero, and be able to join Congress.
Okay, what is his name?
James West Davison.
James West, I ain't in that man.
James West Davison. You can read this if you want. That's the article.
That's right, get in the Labor Day mood. All right, speaking of advertisers, they actually deliver this message for our work in public.
Looking for a safe working environment, competitive pay, and a great work-life balance? Greater New York Nursing is now hiring LPNs across the 5 boroughs of New York City and surrounding counties. We provide our LPNs with exceptional support, a family atmosphere, and unlimited overtime. For more information or to apply, call 212-NURSING. That's 212-687-7464. Or go to gnyservices.com. That's gnyservices.com.
All right, you heard that. So we're going to run that back a couple of times. Employment desk is officially open inside Culture Zone. So if you want a job, need a job, if you're too busy for your own clothes, need a break, call Washington Post Super Laundry right now, 718-341-1000, 718-341-1000. And to talk to your candidates still in the studio for yet another, maybe another 25 minutes or so, it's 212-219-9695, 212-219-9695. And we're going to get back inside the Labor Day jam session where you count, meantime, between time. We're going to help you to make sure you put your vote where they count. Paying taxes, getting nothing for it. Maybe it's time to switch parties. By the way, don't party so much. Just vote on the issues. Too much parties already. Enough with the parties. Vote on issues. Leave the parties alone. Sometimes they get drunk and put the vote in the wrong spot. Heard that one before, right? That's that one. Hey, go. Mind your Labor Day. On the second, I'll make it. One second. Where you come from? Yep, you got a customer. So first thing out of your mouth, Happy Labor Day 2020.
Yeah.
If things are different, you've been on Eastern Parkway. You got that? Things are different, you've been on Eastern Parkway. You want to hear that?
This is James West Davidson.
All right, can't talk to you now. Go. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Inside Culture Zone, where the people are first. And you're going to take it live and direct to the caller. Brooklyn.
Not the same person.
The, what is it, one of the largest boroughs? The most courageous folks next to those in Hollis Queen. All right, officially on the air caller on hotline. Welcome in. Call you in there. Yeah, turn the radio down just a little bit, just a little bit. All right, no problem.
Happy Labor Day, everyone, 2020.
Yes, sir. Are you there? Yes. Yeah, live and direct. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing today? Happy Labor Day once again to everyone.
Yes, sir. Digested. Okay.
I have no problem. I want to say this. I've not broken a promise in my life, and of course, I have no problem to concur and agree fully. I would promise I have to, because to think that the people are there now would be able to fulfill what's required, I don't think that's possible. You know, to reach out to what we have to recraft, reframe our Constitution would also take people who want to uphold that very body. So there's a faction to the respect I speak of, and those who understand it, of course, would need to feel that. In the same way, when this gentleman came in, and I'll say that for the moment, gentlemen, like to just show respect for the moment. You know, when he came in, he put people he felt confident, and most any president coming in has done almost equally the same. I don't necessarily have to remove people, but what do you stand for? What have you done? What will you be devoted going forwards? If you had things done illegally, that would be a problem. You know, I don't know how anyone who's done something wrong that would be think for any reason that person could be considered to remain in its seat would make any sense. So anyone coming in, I believe, even if you know, whoever may get the top seat there next in 2020 or 2024, most anyone coming in is going to do that, and that would be my complete intention to do this. And I need your support. Anyone out there, you know, especially those people who don't vote. I'd like to talk to you for a moment, because you're turned off. I'm one of you. This is what prompted me in 2016 to muster off all this energy to come in and to apply the sense that it takes to do it, to add a decency and a balance.
All right, call out question 2. Other question? All right.
I appreciate your question. Thank you.
Stay strong, all right? All right, bye.
Let me just get my website again if I can do that. So I'd like to just share with everyone the website. So it's time to join, TimeToJoin.us. That's timetojoin.us. And for those who don't want to go on the computer, by design, you have to be included. I will not leave you out. You know, I see digital stuff phasing out people who don't like computers. That's not cool. It's not human as far as I'm concerned. You know, you're making business ahead of being the decency of what it is to be human. So let me give you a phone number, 718-865-8720. I simply need someone's name, a zip code, a phone number, and or email. Just say, hey, you know what? You got my support. That's the most important thing, is a support vote, and that's what it requires to get me on the ballot in every state. And this is exactly what I'm shooting for. And I'd like to also add, I want to say this very respectfully, wake up. We're following the media who's not guiding us right. You need to see past what your heart wants and act on it. When you hear me, you should hear my heart. You should hear my intention, my contentions, my respect, the design, the decency of to show everything that's in front of us. Not that we have to hide so much and trillions of dollars are missing. And we keep on hearing this over and over. And why do we think our schools don't have what it is? And, you know, we're not really upholding what it is in the Declaration. I think that's the most important thing. Reframe our Constitution. So I need your support. Timetojoin.us. TIMETOJOIN.us. That's the website. We're not a .com. We're a .us. Timetojoin.us. And I care and I love all of us. And a phone number, once again, for those who are interested to not go on a computer. You don't have to. 718-865-8720. And by the way, I will also have several programs for those who don't want to go on a computer, that you have an ability to act within your phone and enter into certain systems to still have the same services you require. Charles Richard Zerilli, running for the beautiful president of our United States, not just president, but a beautiful president. I want people to appreciate our government, have some respect that we have back. Unless government gives to you, how are you going to get it back? Let's just give you a quick quote from the Declaration. Quote, to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, which means it's up to all of us, all of you, to agree with what a government is doing. And I think if a government is smart, they'll still have national security. They'll still implement all these things that are required and still protect our nation across for business. But the people will be happy, and we will use our intelligence to do so. Thank you.
The number in the studio is 212-219-9695, 212-219-9695. Give us a call live inside WPAT, AM 930, where the AM stands for a must listen to radio.
This is one of my phone numbers, and it doesn't text. Someone put a text into it, sent it to one of my secretaries, and told them I had a full-blown flu. I could not call her 50 to 20 times. She's not getting my phone calls after that. So, you want to talk about Operation Mockingbird? That is we need decency in America. We need laws to protect that.
Where's the man with the hammer there? Where's the man with the hammer going? Where's the man with the hammer? That's the song. Where's the man with the hammer going?
There's always going to be controversy fixing it, but we got to make the right thing happen.
Where's the man with the hammer going? Where's the man with the hammer there?
The hammer is good.
Where's the man with the hammer going? Under your bed. Man with the hammer. Go on. Look under your bed. You can see under your bed. Man with the hammer is under the bed. Yeah.
Well,
Welcome to Culture Zone. The number here in the studio is 212-219-9695, 212-219-9695. This one is in tribute to Labor Day 2020. And politicians have surely let you know that they could shut down anything they feel like. For whatever reason, Corona, Verona, Morona, Corona, Malona, any whatever. You get the drift.
When you feel it's right, I'd like to do another commercial. So you have a different one.
No problem. Shut up.
I met her in Brooklyn. She's a Brooklyn baby. You're driving me crazy, but you're crazy today. So you can't get away. Baby, who on the cool? So I like you. But we go jump on the pathway. We dip on the pathway. Say only man on the pathway. Don't give me man on the pathway.
Speaking of Labor Day, to show you how the system is upside down. Now, Mark, the mayor says that for the restaurants, some of those restaurants, the choice ones, they're going to move people outside to eat so it's safe. Now, for Labor Day, everybody is outside. You think they'll allow them to have the mask on outside? They don't trust you, but when it comes to money, collecting from those restaurateurs, all of a sudden they could eat outside. So wait a minute. Some restaurants will eat outside. Restaurants that don't have space on the outside can't open up. And now if you want Labor Day and you're outside, you can't go outside for Labor Day parade either. Things that make you say, Yeah, we have too many scientists when it comes to Corona. And some of those politicians, I think they really flunked out in biology. And a lot of ologies they flunked out on. And the first one is common senseology. Believe it or not, they flunked out first, second grade. I bet you most of those punks really had multiple choice. You know, the case where you have to, a lot of math guys that study math, you had to really know the math. You couldn't just check off A, B, C for your answer. You had to know it. You just can't block it in. Most of those guys had multiple choice. Some of them stole the answers, really, in real life. But they could tell you what to do. When we know they stole the answers, based on how they act. I'm not taking back a word. Not a word I say. A lot of them stole their multiple choice answers to get their degrees. Get the degrees. They got D's. In real life. Degrees. Degrees. Right. We don't have to rehearse those lines. We got it. Ain't no rehearsal for these lines. And we don't rehearse our lines. We don't rehearse lines yet. Degrees. Talk about every.
practical nurse looking for a safe working environment, competitive pay, and a great work-life balance? Greater New York Nursing is now hiring LPNs across the 5 boroughs of New York City and surrounding counties. We provide our LPNs with exceptional support, a family atmosphere, and unlimited overtime. For more information or to apply, call 212-NURSING. That's 212-687-7464. Or go to gnyservices.com. That's gnyservices.com.
All right. Information is there. Call now and mention the Culture Zone show. Or you can call that the good fellow's name. What's his name, Mr. Hughes? He said he wants to see everybody working, right? Full time? Yeah, and then Mr. Hughes, you're not going to Parkway late this year. Rash is here without fear. What's going on? Yes, ma'am. You want to ask me? You're not on the ear yet, but go ahead. What's the question? So we'll have to go home. In school. But did they catch the corona at school? Okay. All right, well, hold on there. Don't run away. Hold on. I'm going to get you on with the candidate. Yeah. All right, so fine. So hold on there. Hold on. What's up? What are you banging?
I'm banging a fly, that's what.
It'll fly away.
It ain't gonna fly away.
Ain't gonna bite you, man.
No, I'm gonna kill him and that's it. Okay?
Kill him, it's like that.
That's just like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, I gotta go to your
Then
rules
his
and
spirit will
standards.
have to worry about flying
I
away.
gotta go to your rules and standards. He's bothering me.
It's bothering.
That's right.
Crush the bitch.
That's right.
If he can slap you, then you got a problem.
And I'll slap you when he do.
So let that slap resonate to his father.
All right.
Or to his mother.
All right, stand by. Inside Culture Zone, as we go to call her live and direct. Good afternoon. You're on the radio live. Welcome in.
Good afternoon.
Rash on the air. Fine, I'm here, live and direct. Yeah. What's in the university? Okay. So they were were they well before they went to the school? No. Were they well at the time they went to the school? Were they well? So all right, so hold on. At the time school started, those students were in A1 health condition, didn't have corona. Mhm. All right. So did they have a full medical staff at the college? Oh. That's what I'm saying. So you call that stupid news? You should turn. No, because you see, if you have a media group that don't ask the right questions, that's how they keep the public ignorant. So if you have a lot of ignorant folks, then we do ignorant things. So if you have a college, you're supposed to have a medical staff on board and to check the students going in. And now that you have a problem, then you should make sure you separate those healthy students from those students that don't corona, you know? Well, yeah. So obviously the news agent not doing their job. So I recommend. All right. So next time just turn that one off, because you're obviously not getting educated.
You got a point.
Just turn them off and come to us, no? Come,
No,
yes, come to
you got a point, though.
All right.
Yeah. Let me get in there.
All right, don't mind. All right, hold on. The candidate didn't have a question answer.
I would like to say, ma'am, you have a very good point, because that's one of my disturbances is when do we see our news be vetted? You know, you have a very good point. I didn't hear particularly about this, but to me, I feel this is also part of what is good design. So I would want to have a team ahead of time that would understand and implement several different scenarios of what could be worst case conditions. And then within them, I would then understand a better idea of how to handle it. Well, no, so let me give you an example. So let's use your example. So we have a bunch of kids, they happen to have a circumstance in the kids, someone breaks out. So are they stuck there? So I'll be honest with you, how bad do they feel? And then I would want to make a separate division in that school of people who were infected, who, if they still needed to teach, keeping social distancing, if they were not feeling good, then fine, they have to stay in their dorm room. But there should be a consideration to understand how to treat all circumstances that can happen, and why are we not thinking ahead? So I would want to have a team, of trouble plotters. So we would plot, this could happen, this can happen, this can happen, this can happen, and what are the best case scenarios we can do in each one of them. So this would have been one scenario that would have already been a topic to say, well, what happens if a bunch of kids get it, and now should you have them go home? Well, I think that is an issue for it not to have been thought of beforehand is the most critical thing, not to blame the circumstance, but to blame the preconditions that could have been already thought of beforehand. So, and then to add on top of what you had said, you're hearing different stories in news. I would like to also implement, well, of course, changing the Constitution would implement this, I feel, would be a standard, is to have news be vetted, which means why isn't it that we don't have the same stories, even though we don't listen to the same channels? Right. I agree. Yeah. So that, to me, if news was vetted by law, not the way it is now, then the stories you heard would be the same stories, let's say, that I heard, and I heard it, let's say, from many different channels. Yeah. you know, let me just, yeah, let me just interject this. I did reach out to the governor and the mayor to introduce myself. None of them got back. When I hear $14 billion in housing and only 7 has been used, so we wonder why and where are we seeing that the rest of that money can be used and why is it not? Why are we the richest nation in the country and on the globe, but we don't have our education being down pat? This is not acceptable. And only when someone like myself who has, you know, have been very uncomfortable and frustrated to the point where I've given up many things in my life. I've given up all my licenses and my careers, although I still hold many of them. I've given up my life. I've given up having a relationship. I've given up, you know, going out on Friday and Saturday nights before the pandemic. Why? To finish writing my book, because I see how to remedy much of this. So I don't think that this is acceptable, and we need to have news vetted, and we need to be considerate for our education, even beyond the safety. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, let me just say this. Yes, you're right. I agree. And then when we mention these things, we can also say, and I like to say to people out there, please brace for impact for a moment. Because I'm going to just read you a small list of things no one is talking about, but by design, every one of these need to be remedied. And when you hear these things, this is why you need to support me, because only when you realize someone who's being hostile, coming the truth, who has, I want to say, a reputation. I'm not a liar. I'm a handshake person. Ask people who know me. I have tenants for 17, 20 years. We have great relationships, and I've treated them with respect. So Amazon rainforest being torn down, GMO foods and soybean and GMO crops, fires that seem non-stoppable, bull. Let me add it. We don't see bridges that are not designed correctly. The new bridges on Staten Island, I see the Goethals Bridge. The supports are past the point of fulcrum. Anyone do design engineering, you need to call me up. This is not acceptable. And I called the mayor up and also emailed them. I want to see a top brace be installed, the top cross bridges. Why? What happens if we have ground tremors? Our weather's changing, and those things are preloaded. Anyone understand design engineering? How come no one's talking about these things? No pandemic. Yeah. Well, this is why we need someone who understands science. As a contractor, no contractor working for government will be able to, you know, bull nonsense me, because I've been doing it for 40 years. We have nuclear wastewater touching California shores from the Fukushima meltdown, 350,000 gallons an hour. I'm sorry, a day. That's 4,162 gallons an hour. How come no one's doing anything about this? 126 degrees in Iraq just the other day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's why one person, it would take for all of you to realize, with the right design plan, reframing our Constitution would remedy 65 to 90%. And guess what would it take? To remedies, jobs, jobs, jobs. To fix all these, we would have jobs you wouldn't believe. So, you know, when I hear, you know, the news is not telling us and it compromises the newscasters, you know, when I hear that top of Rocky Mountain tops and part of Sacramento and part of other places, I might be wrong about Sacramento, part of Arizona, part of California, they're running out of water. Literally from the ground, there's no more natural water. How come we don't hear these things on a national level so we can be involved to fix it? Right. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, you know what the problem is as far as the journalists and questions. What happened is a lot of these universities spend money with the local stations, and therefore they handicap the journalists, or the bosses tell the journalists, you cannot ask these questions.
Right.
So
Yes.
the same thing.
There was called a gag order for a while.
The same thing applies to those politicians. The nursing homes, the same thing. A lot of them died, and no, nobody have any answers because the same nursing homes that they died from contributing to political party money in the pocket. So they don't care how much people they kill, as long as they can have money to run their little political campaign. So it stinks from bottom up, and that does top down. And when I just spoke to Mr. Zarelli about an hour ago, about why do you need 200 or 300 million dollars to run for president of the United States? Because it's already corrupt. One party boasted, that Democratic Party, last week or the week before, that they made $40 million in one day. Now they bragged about that. How much of that money is actually going back to the neighborhood that support them? People not asking those kind of questions. And they don't want, nah, they don't. Well, well, let's go back to that.
There is no design.
Let's go back to that $40 million. Now the same party, a lot of our folks in our neighborhood, they are busy promoting that party. And if you say one thing against that party, the same one with that 40 million or those with 100 million, it's like committing a crime. You cannot talk to our folks. You cannot tell any of our folks they're programmed. They're programmed to vote for one party, so they're going down with blinders on. And it reminds me in Jamaica when they had the election, they just had one, I'll talk about that later on, where the PNP and the JLP, when one party wins, you know, it's like the other opposition people that voted cannot make a dime. They can their business is basically bankrupt for 4 years. If you're not a PNP or a JLP, and during and during election time, you have gang warfare that's going on right now. So the opposition will stage a riot because they want to get to power, and they blame it on the other guy. The same thing happened in Jamaica against PNP with Manley versus Siaga. I see the same thing happening in America right now. You got Republican in power, and then you have the Democrats fighting or creating riots in the streets, and they can't tell me that they're not doing it because I see it happen in Jamaica, and it's happening right here. It happened right here in America, where the opposition is actually promoting riots, and you have millionaires that have money that's paying people to riot, and they act like they don't know. Millionaires, and it has been proven, a lot of millionaires that have money behind the party, and if it's not behind the party, is behind closed doors where they make these decisions. They pay people to go out there and demonstrate, and they put this banner, Black Lives Matter, and the people that's pulling the strings behind Black Lives Matter have nothing to do with anything else other than they want political power. So a lot of that stuff is a fraud. There's a lot of fraud happening before this election, and believe me, you're gonna stay up. Make sure all your folks out there get a lot of coffee. Just buy a lot of coffee and keep drinking it. I'm not gonna tell you which horse to bet on, but somebody's gonna win, and then if certain party lose, a lot of people maybe want to jump off the bridge. But
how I look at it is, we need to.
You need, yeah. Well,
I think people are frustrated, and I think they're turned off to our system, and that's a way to be rebellious. We don't have a care and kind government. Everyone's causing controversy, just what George said. Why do you think these tactics are used to cause controversy and to make people fight? Guess what? But when you realize, I have a gun with the name America on it, you came from somewhere different, and you have a gun with the name America, and we both look at each other, wait a minute, we're fighting each other, and both guns say America, then we start to realize who's causing the problem.
Yep, big money.
Right, so the controversy has to be stopped. We have to have people who are going to take the blame, and that's why I say all these things. My intention, literally, I want to fix every one of these things I said. We're the richest nation. It's very possible. It's so possible, but the only thing is we need people like yourselves to realize, don't listen to the news in that way.
Use your logic. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call.
Good talking to you, shortly. Good. All right. Now,
and confident and tight, because this, I see so many people are frustrated, and that's why you see all these protests happening, but they're being downgraded. Why? To cause controversy against them. People are fed up. So all of you at home that you're listening, and especially if you don't really want to vote, that's why please give me the opportunity. Please believe in me. I am not giving you anything but my God's honest truth, my heart, my mind, my soul. And some people will say, well, you'll become a politician. That's going to change my butt. I look at my niece. I demand she have a safe tomorrow. And how I see it, because I am extremely very science. And I wrote this in 2016. I said, how can I explain the climate to anyone? And I asked one question. No one is asking this. Why is it 41.5 degrees if we dig 10 feet down anywhere on the face of the earth, not next to a volcano or a hot spring or next to the permafrost? And when we answer that, we can fix our climate. We don't need gasoline, but I'm not looking to hurt the oil companies. I want to bring them in, let them manifest the new infestations, I want to say it that way, of implementations of new devices. Let them run it. This way, they're not going to fight us in court. You're not going to, more controversy, more controversy, more controversy. Time is ticking. I want my niece to have a safe tomorrow. And this is, when I look at, Mr. JB, I'm not going to say his name, but running the other candidate, and he wants to put $2 billion to fixing climate change. That to me is a joke. HR 763 is not good enough. Well, I was on a Zoom with some of these people, and I love them and I support them 110%. 350.org. I want to give them a plug. They're doing all the right things, but they're being undermined because when I see that someone says, they have no answer to me, I said to them, will HR 763 keep up with the speed of how fast it's melting? And she couldn't answer me, and I already know the answer. It's like a glass of ice. When it starts to melt past half point, it goes faster. I demand my niece, which includes all of us and all of you, to have a safe tomorrow. So only someone who's talking about all these things is willing to face it, to give you the bad news. Let's stop sugarcoating these things, and we have the money to do this. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli, running for the beautiful President of the United States, adding some human to it. And I really don't want to be considered political, although some of you could stereotype me in the name of that if you need to. But my website, Time to Join, TIMETOJOIN. Once again, that's time, TIME, the word to, TO, the word join, timetojoin.us. I'm not a .com, you're not a .com, we are a .us. And the phone number for those who don't want to use a computer, 718-865-8720. Once again, 718-865-8720. I need all of you out there. So those who don't want to vote, please call me up, tell me you support me, put me on the ballot. Even if you don't want to go out and vote, you're telling me you're going to support me, gives me the legal ability to be a national candidate in their face. You want to see action? I'll be in their face. I will respect them, and I will include those who want to be at the top, who need to have all this oil, and who want to try to keep the national security going. Guess what? We need national security to protect our markets. There's no question about it, but we don't need gasoline. The technology I've already worked with would already do this. Nikola Tesla proved some of these things. Not Tesla car company, not the same person. Nikola Tesla invented AC voltage, the coil, several different things. I'm not going to go into technicalities of it. But let's talk about the science and the proof. Anyone who can speak of these things would be able to have an equal conversation with myself. Otherwise, they're just political only. Let's stop thinking we have friendly politicians. Let's follow the declaration. Let's do what you said. We need to have vetted news. We need to guide people correctly. Suffering happens in life anyway. Let's talk about it. Let's put some labels on degrees of it so we understand how to tolerate it better. And let's appreciate our government for guiding us. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli, and I care for all of us. Please, I need your support. Once again, timetojoin.us and the phone number, 718-865-8720. I'm not going away. I love us and I care. And in 2016, when I made that video, I don't think anyone else ever said there's a national, international emergency, making it a public debriefing with all weather. To me, it's the most critical thing that we need to face. And I'm looking to forefront that, as well as we have to stop this nuclear wastewater. And believe it or not, my couple of licenses and all the underground work and stuff that I've done, I'm very qualified, literally, to oversee the physical job that's in Fukushima to stop the nuclear wastewater. No one has my qualifications, and I care. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli, And I appreciate it. I appreciate anyone calling with any questions. I think the thing is, when you override media, you need to hear the language in which people are speaking. Not just that I tell you, I'm married and have children, or things are nice and the weather is good, we're going to battle this one topic. Yes. How are we going to fix all of them? Topics extremely important. Reframing the Constitution would make many laws fix many of each one of these topics. I think that's excellent design. My name is Charles Richard Zerilli, running for the President of the United States. And I want to say, just like our children did, and when they felt that the gun anguish was so inciting to inflame them, and within 1 week, they all had a walkout. So our children overstepping all of us adults, in 1 week, they got a walkout across the globe. Guess what? In 1 week, if all of you got incited, you have to tell everyone about Charles Richard Zerilli. Time to join. Don't stop. Guess why? Within this time, it would make it happen. No matter what you think, you're just feeling comfortable because the internal representation, IR, from TV and news and media lets you believe it's the only choice. When you open your mind and your heart together, you will understand we need someone who does know science, who's done framing and structural work and understands. And like I said, you asked my neighbor Jen by one of my rentals. She became a non-diabetic. Does the hospital tell any of you that? No, but I don't want to hurt the medical industry either. So we need a bunch of intelligent people. That's what the woman said before. Hey, would you have people come in? And the gentleman who said, would you have the right people? Yes, I will.
Stand by. We're right back with closing comments.
Thank you.
Candidate right after this. Inside WPAT AM 930, where the AM stands for a muscless radio. And for those that are celebrating Labor Day 2020, continue to do so without your politicians. A lot of mixed messaging. The key here for Labor Day 2020 is refund for the small business, refund from city administration. You need a refund for the money, some of that money that you invested in Labor Day 2020. So if you don't ask for it, you won't get it, but united, you should stand. You get some of that money that you invested in the Labor Day garments, Labor Day stuff for 2020. Ask the mayor, where is your money or the money? You may want to ask me for the money, but he has the money. He claims that he needs $7 billion. He didn't tell you how much money you have hidden under the bed.
Well, I would also ask, do we have that there Republican thing? What happened is the white supremacists, it didn't come from Republicans. The white supremacists in Charlotte was the white supremacists, not a Republican. The young guy, 17 years old, was not a Republican.
Right.
So we can't say Democrats. Those are the white racists,
right.
That started that.
What I see is a president who's inciting people who are on the edge, and we're frustrated with the pandemic, and we're using it as a tool.
We're going to take a commercial break. We're right back with the calls on the phone after the commercial break at 6. Should I say not at 6, but at 5 o'clock? But we go to 6, 2 to 6, and then 9 to 10. So stick around for more. If you got questions, we'll answer them after the commercial break and around about 5:03 or so. Stand by.
But I see it's only who feel it not be touched.
Curry.
I said those that don't know what to do.
Curry Tabanka.
I love it. I love it.
Not a curry there. The curry.
WPAT Patterson.
There's a saying we have in the Caribbean. We are stronger
Curry
united.
Tabanka.
And that's why I work as a census taker.
See, back all
We
the
have
curry
our
and run
hearts
away.
are ready to make sure everyone is safely counted. Completing the 2020 census will impact how federal funding flows to our neighborhoods for schools, housing, and health units. And don't worry, personal information is kept safe and confidential.
I love it.
It's not too late. Shape your
Like
future.
Harry.
Start here at
Runs off with-
2020census.gov.
runs off with the
Paid
boy, eh?
for by U.S. Census
Look at
Bureau.
this getting
The
drunk.
non-attorney
You can't
spokesperson
realize
for
what
People
you
Based
run
Signal
off.
Group. This is an important
get
message
right
for
here,
anyone diagnosed with cancer after being exposed to Roundup or
Talk
other
about
weed
Curry
killers.
ran
A
away.
California jury recently found Monsanto's weed
Everybody
killer
thought
caused
it
the
was
groundkeeper's cancer and issued a verdict for $78 million. More evidence found that Monsanto, the manufacturer of Roundup, may have known that Roundup and other weed killers were likely linked to organ damage and cancer. Call the Sentinel Group now. You'll pay nothing unless there is a recovery in your favor. Don't fight it alone. Call 1-800-686-0846.
Run away.
That's 1-800-686-0846.
You gotta call the lady something about something about a college something that they talked about. She was home doing stats. So she gets 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and you respond, and then you cut to this. Take your question.
Right.
Cut.
Right.
But she'll talk forever.
Right, I see that. And I appreciate, that's why I appreciate your style, because you cut it, you give some music. Cut it, you give some music. Cut it, you give some music.
We don't do boring. No boring show around here. We keep it real.
Right.
But people don't like that straight talk all the time. You gotta give them a little something.
Right.
A little shake and bake.
Right, a Bridget, right.
Maybe a sandwich in between.
Right.
You give that sandwich?
Yeah, well, you.
The audience want a sandwich.
You get a sandwich, all right.
The audience want a sandwich, not me.
Make it a California.
No, I'm gonna give him a knuckle sandwich. 5 knuckle shots.
Don't be so rude, man.
Yeah, I gotta be rude.
Don't be so rude, man.
Talk about my people all night long.
Your people?
Yeah.
What's their name?
And, you know, on the other side of it, there is a rhyme to my reason, because the one tool that the people use to top, people act when you scare the hell out of people. And unfortunately, for people to be in neutral without realizing the house is on fire, you gotta do something.
Yeah.
They're not really gonna do anything, they're just gonna think about it, and to digest something, yes, but to make people act, this is kind of.
Words like a subliminal image.
Right, you know, and one thing I feel is what I'm doing is forefronting a bunch of stuff when they go to listen to the other people and they're not mentioning it. Wait a minute, who's this guy Zarrilli again? He said the real deal. Let's talk about that. See, now if I was a DJ, I could give him some music. We gotta think about what we're doing tomorrow. Climate's important. Give him some more music. Come back out. If you want a remedy, give him some more music. Now think about what I just said. Let the song play rest.
It's the weekend. They got a little something.
I'm watching what you do, bro. I love it. That's great, man.
You gotta get a little music. You don't get it. It's a Saturday crowd.
Right, you're right.
You don't get that music?
Music is a universal language.
Dead meat. You won't even see his phone ring.
Right.
That's how the guy talks all the time. Sandra! Give me the medicine. You want the medicine from Sandra? When she's coming back. She ran up with the medicine.
Everybody needs medicine.
You took me there. I'm a doctor. Give me the thing with the doctor order me. Give me the thing. Give me the thing with the doctor order me. Give me the thing. Give me the thing the doctor ordered. That's Ronnie Bongo. Call the doctor now. Don't wait for the ambulance. Labor Day 2020 inside the radio station. Don't mind what they sabotage out there. Check out what's going on in here. for those who want to make sure that they go on the, for those who are voters, first-time voters, 101.1. When they go into voters' roll, ballot box, what should they look for? I know the slips are getting very confusing. Actually, they prepared, the last time I was on the voters' side, Thomas, they prepared a plastic-looking magnifying glass that they knew, or they know, that you couldn't see the crap that was on that sheet. So they went out and got a little plastic magnifying glass to make sure you can see, especially senior citizens, because you went from a 2020 to a 2655, and you can't see the blinking things they got in the paper. So if you're looking for, some people's going in and vote for the top of the ticket, don't do that. You got judges and you got all these folks running. That's going to represent the district. You got judges that will put the same guy that raped some girl down the street back on the road. You got judges that when they get drunk, they come in and they put the nurse in the jail, and they put the criminal back in your yard. I'm going to give you an incident of what happened in my yard, at my house. Somebody, like the gentleman said there, Mr. Zarelli, said that sometimes you have to be careful when you pay attention to these guys. Now, I left my house, it was a couple of years, about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, a tenant unit. And I left about, say, 10 o'clock. I got back to the house about 10 minutes to 11. Front door was open. I checked. Then the person's room was open. That's a tenant. So I went to the back of the house. I saw a chair in the backyard in my rose garden. Now, I called the gentleman. I said, well, where are you? The door is open. He said, all right, he'll be back. So he comes back and asks me, that's what happened when you're a military person, you know about investigations. I said, he said to me, is there anybody living in the backyard? You know anybody that lives over in the backyard? There's another house in the backyard. I said, yeah, I know everybody back there. And he gets nervous. So I said, all right, go and call the police, man. Tell them that somebody went in your place. All right, so we waited. This was like 11 o'clock. The police didn't show up till 5 o'clock in the evening. 11 in the morning, 5 o'clock, the police shows up. Then the police comes up, and then he thinks that I'm the... He's looking at me, the landlord, and all of a sudden, I'm the problem. So he want to investigate me. Don't investigate the crime, just investigate the landlord. All right, fine, no problem. So I said, I do have one of those security devices, that 24-hour recording. I won't promote that company. A 24-hour recording device, security device. So I went to my computer chip, downloaded, brought it to the precinct. Show them the guy on video. They show the guy going through the window, taking his own computer, technically stealing from himself, walk to the front. The same sneakers, same jackets, same size head, same face, everything. And I said, isn't that the same? Isn't that the fellow that reported? He said, yeah. So I reported I went to the commanding officer. I said, I have the video. I have the guy that did it. He lives in the house. He technically stole from himself. You know what the response from the police was? That the guy could steal from himself. Well, here it is, the police. That's what happened to some of these police precincts. They're telling me the guy could steal from himself, but not just the guy could steal from himself. They're now letting me know that technically they could frame me and there's nothing I could do about it. So
he falsified a report.
So one day I noticed there was not a lieutenant that pulled up my house. He wanted some information that happened across the street. So about 3 of them showed up with their nice shiny badges. Says to me, Mr. Brash, I'd like to check out incident happened. I says, I do have private cameras, but it's for my personal use. But you do have a camera on the corner. Oh, we do? I said, yes, city paid for a camera. There's a camera on the corner. I said, why don't you go through your cameras, check it out, and come back to me. But I said, matter of fact, no, my company, my security company, would not appreciate you using my stuff. So if you want more cameras, tell the city of New York to put it up. You said, well, I should call. I said, no, you're the commanding officer. You go tell your boss to tell the mayor and his folks and the councilor to put a damn camera up there so he could see. Don't come look at my camera. My camera secure my house, not to secure the city of New York. So that's how rotten some of these folks are that run the government, because you don't have the right people in there. Not in the precincts, not in some of these places. And if you wonder why the criminals are running the street instead of the people that pay taxes run the street, it's because of corruption. And New York City is corrupt from top to bottom. Believe it or not. Why do you think I'm not talking about a party? I'm not promoting a party. The party has not proved them damn self or proved their damn self. Okay? So I'm pissed off. I don't want to be pissed on. I'm pissed off that they are not doing their job. And for those in our neighborhood, Brownsville, East New York, Hollis, Springfield, Queens, look at the murder rate under your mayor. It has gone up over 150%. And what does he do? He gets a paint can. That same clown in City Hall, he gets a paint can. He has time to mark right on Fifth Avenue about what lives matter. Does he care, that son of a gun, care about those 20 or 30 dead bodies that's been dead in the last 2 weeks in New York City? Does he care about that? But he has time, that bum, he has time to get a paint can to mark Black Lives Matter. He don't give a shit, excuse me, about any black life, the last 30 that died in New York City. But he could find a paint can to go paint in Queens and to paint in Fifth Avenue about what lives matter. How about those 20 or 30 bodies that's dead out of Brownsville, East New York? Is anybody going to talk about that? Any of you folks that have the balls to call me and tell me who you're voting for? Then the same thing that happened in your city, you don't give a damn. But you could tell me about your party. You know where you could put that party. You know where you could put that party. Mr. Zorelli, right after this. That's what's going on right there. Wow. Over 30 dead bodies in 2 weeks.
What did the guy do? Falsified a police report against?
Yeah, he could have took it if he really.
The guy told me, the criminal that lives in my building.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have pushed it.
You understand?
Yeah.
He could run from himself, but he's trying to frame me.
And he made a report about it too.
Hell yeah. I showed him, I got the video that I downloaded. I took a whole day, brought it to the precinct.
Wow.
And this son of a sapsucker is telling me that the guy could steal from himself. But you don't try to frame me.
But yet he made a falsified police report on top of that. I mean, that's...
Watch the mixer back to closing comments from our candidate. All the things I told you, real stories. Actually, not stories, they're facts, okay? Facts. I could back up every damn thing I say on this air, okay? And damn is a good word. You'd like to see me off the air or hear what I say off the air. We black cowboys. They're really screwed up out there, real screwy wooey.
Wow.
And they want to tell me about party. Take your party and take it somewhere.
And they got a camera on the corner. They couldn't make they couldn't make a phone call and say, give me this footage.
No, they come to my house and harass me. They want to look at my camera. But you know what happened? If you should show them your camera, they go and tell the criminal they saw it from you. Criminal comes to kill you before this case goes to court. They're rotten from head down. Can't trust these son of a gun. They should have I'm clean out of everybody in the system.
Wow.
Oh, man, to go, just get rid of them. Matter of fact, if this was Iran, had a firing squad, just get rid of them. That's the best way to do it. Firing squad is the best thing. Now, 30 dead bodies now in New York City. 30. They're talking about this guy that died and they want to make paint around with paint cans. Why is this 30 dead bodies still sitting in the morgue? Wow. Not to mention the 10,000 that's dead senior citizen house. Who's going to go on trial for that?
Right.
They want to talk about parties? Take your party and shove it. That's Democratic doing the Democrats. Democrats doing it to each other. Up the rectum, by the rectum, in front of your face. Nobody got anything to say. You see the phone with that? They don't have the nerve to call me because they know everything I say is true. I'm not backing up. Not one. Because you see, it's not fantasy. I have a fantasy of sex. Like
Right.
they know where they're calling me. Everything I say is true. City of New York, right to the core. So there's no competition.
Right. Well, look at it this way. One person covers the other, covers the other, covers the other. Where does it stop?
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, have you seen the black cowboy riding across town? That's me. But I ride loaded, all right? In case you want to send the sheriff after me, I don't ride empty. Ex-military, still military. And don't wonder where I shoot. I could shoot up to 500 meters with a licensed gun. 500 meters, figure it out. And I don't miss. And I have a right to bear arms. Let's check that.
Because of people like him is why we're free. Huh? Because like people like you is why we're free.
My God, right?
And then when do we use them to cover the system that we use people who are in the armed forces that we don't have any resolve about freedom really?
I was in somebody even rough. You ever heard of Sonny Carson?
Yeah, black cowboy riding this down, right loaded. I'm a nightmare for the police department because they know they come and they do the right thing. So move out of my way.
How I see it, the reorchestration of training of police departments across America must be adjusted.
I'd rather a soldier. You better off put a soldier in the seat.
They say they're not federal. Bullshit. Did you know every police chief goes to Israel to train?
Sure they do.
And then you counter-terrorism and stuff, and not just that, but militarization. And why do you think we have this to our police departments? Because that's what they're training for. No. It's a balance, you know. Watching people for security is one thing, but when it goes too far.
Yes, sir. You send a picture. All right, let's check. Yep, I don't work right now in the studio. So let's check it. I'll call you back. Yeah, thanks. Respect. Come on. Good. Yeah, we ain't going home. Hey, we are. You want a little action? That's right, Inside Culture Zone. No, I'm not going home right now. It's 2 to 6 and then 9 to 10. But for those looking for a job, speaking of jobs, if I want to talk about a job, politicians like to talk about jobs. But usually what happens is they'll do 4 years. They promise you a job at the beginning. If you're lucky, you get the job at 3.5 years down the line. Anyway, here's a spot right on the number. That's a job waiting there for you.
For a safe working environment, competitive pay, and a great work-life balance, Greater New York Nursing is now hiring LPNs across the 5 boroughs of New York City and surrounding counties. We provide our LPNs with exceptional support, a family atmosphere, and unlimited overtime. For more information or to apply, call 212-NURSING. That's 212-687-7464. Or go to gnyservices.com. That's gnyservices.com.
That's right. I like to give out good news. gnyservices.com. We'll be right back with closing statements from official candidate in the studio. But we know it's Labor Day coming up, and you want some music in your ear. So we're giving you a full plate, all right? Some rice, some goat, some roti, some good vibes. Here is Shinehead telling the stories what his mother used to tell him. What's up, Shinehead?
Mama, she used to say, take your time.
Heard this before? No! I'm gonna throw a brick over there. Wait a minute. Where's my brick? Where's my brick? Hey, where's my brick? Oh, don't worry about it. It's full of bones. Where's my brick, man? It's full of bones. You mean you never heard of Shinehead? Damn, man. Yeah, listen. That's part of the Shinehead. But it's on vinyl. Hey. That's on the vinyl. You want the guy is young. Me too. You are young, right? I'm young, just like all the young like hell. Don't you know I'm young by now? Don't call me by your name. 70 years, you know I'm young? Don't call me by your name on you, man. I want to introduce you to Red Spot. I mean, Sanford. He's still alive, by the way. Hey, Sanford's still alive. Yeah, you crazy. You're crazy looking at Sanford is alive. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Don't you rush I've never heard that record, man. Hey, how about these guys? Heavy D and the boys, look. Heavy D and the boys. Too young for him. Yeah, Heavy D's passed away, but the boys are still here. Too young. Watch out for my family. Do what you want to do. You guys are 50 years old. What? They're 50, 60 years old. What? What? Clean your ears out. What? Come here, I gotta what? Stick in it. All right. You can't tell them a general, you can't talk to general anyway, you gotta say thank you, sir. I'm older than you. Respect your
Turn off the background screen. It's making one of the flags look wrong.
Mama, take it in your stride. Mama, she used to say, live your life.
That's right.
Live your life. Just take your time, take your time, take your time, young man. Take your time, take your time, take your time, young man.
Whatever you did, fix it.
Yes, the original Shinehead. Now wait for the rubber dub. Here comes the rubber dub. Yeah, that's the kind of music the cowboy rides to the neighborhood. Remember the cowboy sound? Welcome to Culture Zone, the original cowboy. Riding through the tri-state area. Internationally, culturezoneonline.com. Watch the rubber dub. Heard of rubber dub? This is rubber dub. Rubber dub. Stay one corner. You go rubber dub.
That's the name of it? Rubber dub?
Rockers, some say rockers. When it gets like this without a singing, rubber dub. So when you get home, listen to some real rubber dub. But that's something. That's not it though. This one is over here. This comes in this jacket.
Rushing by, he would cut down on his days. He would tell this girl of how it used to be. But his mommy passed away.
Yeah, real rockers, man. Ready for closing statements? In between the rockers, man. We're gonna stand out. What was that they were playing there? Just a little rockers, my friend. What? Rockers, yeah.
Now is the time for you to
You culture zone. Now, maybe if the politicians know how to rock the rockers, that they will do the right thing. All right, they will not be off their rockers; they'll be on rockers. You understand? Right now, they're off the rockers. You think they get on the rockers? Somebody that's on the rockers in the studio, no other than Mr. Zarelli. Good evening, sir. And closing statements and where they can find you on the ballot. What they should need a flashlight to find you on the ballot, right?
They have a write-in box, and you should use the write-in box irrespective of what is registered or not, because it's the numbers that will build up and those reflect in the tallies at the end. So irrespective if you see someone or not, they are still viable for you to write them in. You could write your sister in. You could write your mom or dad or brother in. So thank you very much. Just want to wish everyone that you've had a happy Labor Day, and those who aren't working, my heart goes out to you. I'd like to change that. Because all the contamination or destruction, things that are broken, there are so many jobs in fixing these things. There'll be more jobs that people are talking about. So looking to reframe our Constitution, I would like to know if you could help me, help you, help us for real. My name is Charles Richard Zarelli, and I have started a new party that joins all parties in time of need. With a pandemic and our ice melting, we need to act like the building is on fire, and we must act now. Will you support me, a new person that has 40 years of public service, science, and business combined, and can stop this pandemic or diminish it down within question of no question that other people have so many of in 90 to 120 days. Combining business, science, physics, and ecology for many remedies. Who cares to reframe our Constitution to repair much is exactly what is needed to fix many things that are broken. My niece, and for all of us, we need to know it's going to be safe and feel good. We need new respect, a new start. We need that and not the opposite. So I need your support vote to get me on the national ballot to make new fair change for real. For my niece. That includes all of us and all of you. And I am confident a must to reframing our Constitution using open design is so key to remedy not just education issues, housing, homeless, climate, and to restore trust in our voting and attract you smart, turned off people back in, making new laws that secure 50 to 100 years safe ahead, always, nothing less. If anything less will insult your intelligence and mine as well. I want us to feel safe, assure new jobs, new business revolving around real open science, business with ecology, and ultimately a resolution. My plan is to abolish racism and to make schools have all resources for our children. Open design remedy is really what it takes. 60 to 85% of all issues by redesigning our Constitution will be the remedy. My name is Charles Richard Zarelli, running for the President of the United States, and please visit timetojoin.us, that's TIMETOJOIN, timetojoin.us. The phone number, in case some of you don't want to use a computer, 718-865-8720. I need your support. Reframing, once again, the Constitution will remedy not just 1, 2, 10, or 20, or 30 items. It will literally resolve 65 to 85 of not just national issues, but national issues that spread around, turn into global. With 7.9 billion people and only growing, we need to have remedies and resolves now. My name is Charles Richard Zarelli, running for the President of the United States. Please visit timetojoin.us and or 718-865-8720. I need your support. Thank you.
And the number is two more times.
718-865-8720. Once again, that's 718-865-8720, and the site, timetojoin.us.
Thank you very much, sir. Much respect, and
thank you, everyone.
You have more surprises next week. You're inside Culture Zone, all the way live. 2 to 6, and then 9 to 10. Urban Contemporary News. Right after Master.